Erica, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Today, Erica is sharing her story at 42. I think you were pregnant 10 years ago. Can you
Yes,
can you kind of brief us on getting pregnant then and what was that like? Because it was quite a surprise, I'm sure.
sure. Short story and a little background. When I met my 10-year-old's father, at the time, he only had one testicle and he said it was sterile because he had testicular cancer a year before we met. So, because of the testicular cancer, they took his testicle. And then here he's meeting me with no kids. I'm 33. And he tell me he can't get pregnant. So immediately off the back, I'm like, well, this isn't going anywhere because I definitely wanted kids and I wanted marriage. And ironically, we had sex and I got pregnant on the first time. Like, why is this happening to me? I don't know. And then
The
to
first
add
time?
to, yeah, to also add a little more insult to injury, his doctors were telling him that was going to lose my son because he still had the toxins in his body from the chemo. So they're like, she probably won't carry the full term. I wouldn't worry about it. My son will be 10 on the eclipse, April 8th.
Wow. That's incredible. You were almost 10 years with your son. Then what happened?
Just lived life, just dated and worked and did my own thing. And I guess in the back of my mind, I was always open to having more kids, but I was kind of in my zone with just my one.
Mhm.
I was fine with that. I had a blast from the past and we went out and had a great time. And then we had a couple more dates. And then one particular date, it just kind of went down. And by golly, if it doesn't happen to me again, the freaking first time we had relations, I got knocked up. Now, here's the funny thing about this one. So I actually took the morning after pill and I took it within the allotted time, less than 24 hours, and it did not work. So here I was 41 because I turned 42 in October. So I was 41 and pregnant again
Wow.
on a first time deal. Jeez.
You are very fertile,
I
obviously.
I am fertile myrtle. It's so funny the process of getting pregnant and going to the doctors and all of that and all the blood work. I remember distinctively the doctor telling me at one particular encounter, he goes, "Man, for you to be your age," he said, "you're healthier than some of the moms in their 20s." And I was like, "Oh, I guess that's good news." That's
So
that story.
what what happened? Did you like not have your cycle and that's what prompted you to take a pregnancy test?
No, I mean, I thought the morning after pill worked. I know sometimes like the body can be a little whack, you know what I mean? After you take that, like sometimes it can delay your period or it can make you have an earlier period. So
Mhm.
I had bleeding. I bled 2 weeks after I took the pill. So I just assumed, and that was the time that I was supposed to start my period anyway. So I just assumed that I'm on my period. So I'm good. I don't have nothing to worry about. And it's so crazy because my son's father was like, man, I'm tired. Now he has two other children, right? So he's been through this before. So he was like, man, I'm super tired. And I'm like, why? Are you like working hard or something? He's like, nah, this is like pregnancy tired. I think you should go take a test. And I'm like, dude, I had my period. Like, I'm not pregnant. What are you talking about? I took the pill, it's working. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no. No. He was like, I'm like, no. So I didn't do it, right? I didn't do it. Then he was on me again, like, man, I'm just really feeling like baby. And I'm like, then it must be somebody else. Now I'm waiting for the next period to start. So this was in May. So I'm waiting for June's period to show up because, I took the pill. I'm like, May's period came. So I'm thinking it was normal, right? To me, it was normal. It wasn't anything long or too short or anything crazy. To me, it was just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So he was like, take the test. I'm like, fine. Peed on the test and it was negative. It was negative. Yeah, it was negative. So I'm like, haha, I told you, like, I don't know, you're tripping. So he was like, okay, life moves on. Well, Jamie, June's period never came.
Oh,
So I, like any real woman in their bathroom, we have an extra pregnancy test. Let me just,
definitely.
and again, people, I feel nothing. I'm not sleepy. I'm not cramping. Like I just feel normal. But because June isn't here, I'm just like, let me just take one anyway. But again, in my mind, I'm not pregnant. Like this could just be, I got to get back on track from the morning after pill, or sometimes the period could go 35 days, which kind of puts you in the fifth week. You know what I'm saying? As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to every 28 days or 30 days or whatever. I mean, I've skipped before. I'm 42, so it could be stress. I was stressing about a lot of other random stuff. So I'm really still not thinking I'm pregnant. But I got this extra stupid test. Let me just pee on it. Just so everybody knows, and even though my son is nearly 7 weeks old at the time of this podcast, I still have that pregnancy test that's positive because I'm still in disbelief.
Still.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
still like, I got a baby here, but is this really happening? So sure enough, I peed on that freaking stick and the damn thing was positive.
And that's what you were thinking, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still thinking, oh my gosh.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
how was the rest of your pregnancy?
Man, I was a rock star. So I was sick the first trimester, really tired and just sick, just like I didn't know at the time, but my iron was really low.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have much of an appetite. I definitely was nauseous, but nothing crazy. Like, I went to the doctors, or they were like, you're just nauseous from being pregnant. Now, I will pause and segue this though, in comparison to my oldest son's name is Madden. So when I had Madden, Madden was such an easy breezy thing. But with Easton, oh my gosh, I was sick. I was just sleepy. I was tired. I was nauseous. So I lost a lot of weight. Nothing crazy. What woman doesn't want to lose weight, especially if she's pregnant? So I probably lost a good 7, 8 pounds that first trimester because I didn't eat much. And it got to the point to where the doctors had prescribed me something. I don't remember, but something for nausea, and it
Uh-huh.
helped. Thank God. I still don't have much of an appetite, but once I crossed over into the second trimester, it was a breeze. I didn't have no problems whatsoever. Because of my age, they like to kind of keep an eye open for preeclampsia or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
crap. And then I just start embracing the word geriatric. I'm like, oh, I'm in my geriatric pregnancy. But the labs are good. The blood work was good. I was good. I was good
Mm-hmm.
to go. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. Never developed preeclampsia. Didn't get swollen. My face, like if you guys take a look at some of my maternity photos, like these photos. So my son came February 20th. I took all these photos like December 28th. I'm like 8 months pregnant, feeling great, and thank you God, looking great.
Yeah,
I was all belly. My face didn't swell up. I mean, this was a breeze.
that's
Knock on
great.
wood. Knock on wood. But yeah,
Now,
paid
was
for it during labor, but the pregnancy itself was.
now was there any concern about like abnormalities or anything because you took the what is it?
That morning after pill?
Yes.
It's a great question. I wasn't concerned about any abnormalities because I took the pill.
Mhm.
I was only more so concerned about abnormalities because of my age, right?
Okay.
I wasn't really worried about the pill because I know how the pill works. All the pill does is stop ovulation. And if you've already,
Okay.
and so I found out later on that I had in fact double ovulated.
Oh.
Yeah, so I ovulated again right after I did have that period that I was telling you about earlier, but I just ovulated so quick and didn't know it because, and here we are, and the sperm still stays inside of you for 5 days. So whatever, it happens. But no, I wasn't really worried about that. I just know the pill stops ovulation. So I
Okay.
wasn't really concerned about it affecting the fetus. But I was slightly concerned about because of my age, and they kind of scare you because when you're over 40 and you go to the doctor, you're getting way more testing done. You're getting seen way more than women under 35. And so, unfortunately, and that's the part that I hate about the healthcare system, is like that fear that they put inside of you. I
Mhm.
don't like that at all. And I know we're going to get into doctors and all of that, but this is one of the main reasons why I chose to have a midwife and not a doctor, because I don't like the fear that the doctors, and whether it's intentional or not, but I just don't like that fear that they kind of put in you because of your age
Yeah.
when you're having a baby. And I'm a healthy girl still, and was clearly, right? But I wasn't worried about that in terms of what I have going on, health wise. I was always good.
Mhm.
Numbers, blood work's always great. But just the things that they say, and all because of your age. There isn't any other factor, but really it's my age. And then being an African American woman, they also say, well, African American women are more susceptible to getting preeclampsia. So you need to they wanted me to take baby aspirin twice a day so that I wouldn't develop preeclampsia or as a preventative method. But I quit taking that because it started making my stomach hurt.
Mm.
I'm not doing this. Like if I'm not swollen, my blood pressure isn't high, like I'm not, that's just me being I'm a little rebel, you guys. So don't mind me.
No. Well, let's go into your doctor. I guess you didn't use your doctor from your first son.
Didn't no. So here's the thing. I moved back home to Ohio
Mhm.
from DC. And when I moved home 9 months pregnant. And so I had my son, I had a water birth with him too, but I had my son 3 weeks later.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't have time to have either or. I just took whatever came. I went into labor, whoever was at the hospital, when I had my water birth, just deliver my son, and that was it. I
Mm.
literally had 3 appointments, and then my son came
Mm.
that fourth week. So I really didn't have anything. I had all my care back when I lived in the DC area. Yep.
Gotcha.
And at that time it was a male doctor and he was awesome. And I was a nanny at the time, so I also lived with one of the parents that I was nannying their children. She was a surgeon. So, I had medical influence like all around me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was great. But it wasn't until Easton that I was like, I don't want a doctor. I want a midwife. And here's why.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
I am using a midwife too instead of an OB.
Yep.
I hear you. So did you find out the gender during pregnancy?
Yes, yes. I'm one of those people who I need to know what's going on and I need to know now. I need as much planning as possible. I have a son and I really wanted a girl. I wanted the best of both worlds. And there's a high probability that I probably won't be doing this again because of my age. So I wanted to find out soon. Because when I did find out that I was having a boy, I was bummed for a little bit. And I needed to get over that so that I can then bond with having another son and push past the fact that I'm not having a daughter.
Hmm.
So I needed to know early. And I did something, there is a DNA test that you can order on Google. On Google, you can get off the internet where they send you this kit
Hmm.
and you prick your arm. I can't think of the thing is called, and you send the blood work in, and they can tell you as early as 6 weeks whether you're having a boy or girl. Because if you have the male chromosome, you're having a boy. And I did that, and so I found out way before like the doctor. You can't find out, I don't know, until you're like 5 months or something what you're having at the doctor's.
Hmm.
But I did this thing online, and it told me I was having a boy way off the bat, like super duper early, like 8 weeks. I did it and found out I
Wow.
was having.
I was kind of bummed myself whenever I found out I was having a boy too. So I totally get that time. Like you need to like soak it in.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here with a son, I'm fine. I'm over all of that. Like I'm fine. I'm a boy mom.
Hmm.
And I will tell you this, Jamie, boys really love their moms.
Mm, good.
I'm a girl dad. I love my mom too, but I really love my dad.
Hmm.
And my brothers, they love my dad, but they really, really love my mom, you know.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of truth to that. So
Hmm.
that part of it makes it more fun too, because these boys will do anything for us.
I love that. Was there any products or anything you couldn't live without that helped you through pregnancy?
No. Yes. So towards the end, when your belly gets heavier, 8, 9 months, my son came out 7'7", and that's just how much he weighed. So you think, you have the sack in there, you got all this other crap in there. I probably was at least 10 pounds carrying all in my front. So I got a belly band,
Hmm.
lifesaver, because it kind of lifts your belly up. And My son used to lay a certain kind of way in the womb, which would bother me, and I would have to push him over with my hand. But when I tied, seriously, to get him to move, but when I tied the belly band kind of tight, it would kind of keep him out of laying in that position that he
Mm.
wanted, which took a lot of pressure off of me and nerve pressure off of me. The belly band and baths, I love getting a bath. It helped with
Oh,
my back.
yes.
It helped with my hips. It just also helped to relax. You're going through so much emotionally and for no reason at all. You can feel stressed. You can feel sad. You can feel happy. You can feel anxious. And the bath for me was always just a way to kind of bring my zen back and feel
Hmm.
some sort of normalcy.
Hmm.
So ironically, the bathtub and the belly band are my two favorite things that got me going. I never used a pregnancy pillow. I was fine with the regular pillows. Yeah. And that's really it.
Now, with the band, did you sleep with it too, or just wear it during the day?
Whenever I needed it. Just
Okay.
whenever I needed it. So if I took naps in it, there I took a nap in it.
Hmm.
Because he didn't always lay like that all the time. And a lot of the times, even though I was heavy, like it's just weird. Sometimes just some days you just feel more heavier than normal, right?
Oh,
So on
yeah.
those days when I felt like gravity has me pulling him down or drooping, then
Hmm.
I'm gonna put the thing on. But if I felt normal or fine, I would just take it off. So I
Hmm.
just really let my body tell me what it wanted or what it needed, and
Hmm.
then I just went from there.
Yeah. What about your diet and exercise? Did you do anything different during that time?
Okay. No, I didn't do any dieting. I just ate what I wanted, and I would suggest that to anybody else. If you're craving something, eat it. Don't put yourself on a diet while you're pregnant. Just don't overeat. Don't
Hmm.
eat for two. Like that's the biggest myth in the world because you're not eating for two. We
Hmm.
only need about an extra 300 to 500 calories. So if you normally eat 3 pieces of pizza, don't eat six.
Hmm.
You're gonna have a lot of excess weight. It's gonna be harder to take off when you have the baby. Just eat what you want. If you're craving lemonade and chocolate or chocolate and Coke, eat your chocolate and Coke and be happy.
Hmm.
Now, as far as exercising, and so I didn't pop out until I was probably 6.5 months. And I was still small for a little while until the end. So up until I popped out, I would make sure that I was walking and all of that.
Hmm.
But after that, I took it easy. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't, because when you start walking a lot, your body hurts. It does. At least mine did. It
Hmm.
started hurting. So I just sat down. The teachers and stuff were real nice in the high school when I would walk around the building. What are you doing? Miss Wright, you need to go back to your room and just sit there. And they're right. Relax, put your feet up. Enjoy it, man. I'm telling you, stay off the internet. They keep putting all of this. It's just too stressful. Like your body will tell you what you needed to do. I tell you what, one thing, I walked in the beginning. Like I don't know, the first 1 to 4 months, my body craved the walking. I felt better. It helped with the nausea. It helped with the stress levels. I just wanted to walk. And I wanted to walk outside, seeing the flower, seeing the trees, like taking all that in, the nature, the air, all of that was important to me. I don't know why, but again, I just listened to whatever it is that my body needed, in turn, that my baby needed, right?
Hmm.
So that was that.
Love that. Now, how did you prepare for baby number two? Like
Oh man,
classes?
no, I didn't do any of that. My students working at the high school that I work at, they gave me so much life. Everybody was so happy to see me pregnant. My son was when is your belly gonna get bigger? And then when it started getting bigger, he's rubbing it and he's kissing it. I had a name right off the back, Easton. So, baby Easton, it's your bro, baby Easton. How you doing in there? Like all of these people rubbing on my belly and talking to the baby kept my spirits up,
Hmm.
right? It made it more pleasant. It made it more of a happier experience. And so I didn't really stay in that state of shock for so long. But I also felt like, well, I did this already, right? So what do I need? I didn't need to take any classes. I never took classes, not even with the first one. The only thing that I did do in terms of preparation was I went to go look at multiple hospitals to
Hmm.
see where I wanted to deliver. When I had my first son, I had a water birth. So I actually pushed him out in a bathtub in the water at the hospital.
Nice.
Yep. So I wanted that same experience
Mhm.
with Easton. And so it was important for me to tour hospitals that had the bathtubs in the room and to check out their facilities.
Did you
No,
find that being like common in the hospitals?
no, no.
Okay.
Nope. A lot of them didn't have them. The two that did, so there's one hospital that had it, but they were older tubs. I mean, it would have worked. But
Mhm.
then I found a hospital that was only 3 years old, fell in freaking love because everything was state of the art. Their tubs were huge tubs in the room. The tubs had LED lights, and there's a mirror that comes out the ceiling, near the
Mhm.
bed if you want to deliver that way. I mean, it was just awesome. So I was blessed in that regard in terms of finding a facility.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of hospitals don't have the tubs there. And in the state of Ohio, so when I had my son 10 years ago, you could actually birth out in the water. But 5 years ago, they stopped that. And so they only let you labor in the water
Mm.
now. And you're no longer allowed to birth the babies out. So that was kind of a bummer for me. Initially, we'll get to the labor because I wanted to have that same experience that I had with my eldest, but I still wanted to labor. And so that's what I was searching for. But a lot of hospitals still don't have the bathtubs
Mhm.
in the rooms. Hmm.
Mhm. Now, what about a support system? Being single, who did you lean on for advice and open up to during your pregnancy?
Shout out to my best friend, Nora, who was there when I gave birth to my
Nice.
son. And that was all, again, random. I had a due date of April 4th. And she was like, well, I'm going to circle April 8th in my calendar. I'm just going to come see you then. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why you're circling that date, but that's fine. And she did. She drove from Nashville, Tennessee, all the way up to Akron, Ohio. And she got there at 11 o'clock on April 7th, 11 o'clock at night. She put her hand on my belly and said, okay, baby, Auntie Nora's here. You can come out now. And I went into labor at 4:45 the next morning.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yes, and I had a super fast labor. So from my first contraction to when I literally pushed him out was 5 hours on the nose. So she was
Wow.
there for all of that, and she was my rock star. So unfortunately, she lives in Tennessee, so I couldn't see her, right?
Mhm.
But I could still talk to her, and she knows me, and she also understands pregnancy crazy. So make sure you have that friend, that support system that when you're wilding out, because I'm telling you, you're gonna have mood swings. You're gonna be really nice. You're gonna be crazy emotional. You're gonna be a bitch. They don't take any of it personal, but they're still encouraging. So I had her. I have a friend in Las Vegas who was super sweet. Of course, my parents were great. My dad was awesome. Just that whole process. My mom was my right hand, and my son's father. He was around too to help out with all of that. So yeah, I had a nice little. Oh, I also had a friend who I grew up with, and we had the same due date, and we both were having boys.
Mhm.
So her and I have been rocking with each other from the gate, and we got to compare pregnancy stories. Does your stomach hurt? How are you sleeping? Are you nauseous? Like it was nice to have a pregnant mom going through the same thing that you're going through. And ironically, my son is actually 2 days older than hers, so now our conversations are, is your baby going through the 6 week fussiness? Has he turned over yet? What do the poops look like? Are you doing formula? Which bottle works? So it's nice to have her,
Y-
to kind of travel with
Yeah.
me.
I think it was that image on your Instagram that I thought you had twins. And I was like,
Oh, that's her
wow.
son. That's my
Yeah.
friend's son. Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know, right? They're 2 days apart. So this is exactly
Wow.
who I'm talking about. Yes. So we dressed our little babies alike and they had their very first play date. But yes, Shanae, yep, she was pregnant at the same time with me and we had her kids
Two
two
days
days
of
apart.
okay. With your birth, you planned a water birth, but did you also want to be induced?
No, God, no. No, I was not induced at all. He came when he came, which
Oh
was February 20th. I was due on the 19th,
my. Uh-huh.
but the baby came on the 20th. And I was big on that. I didn't want to go against Mother Nature. I felt like the baby would come when he was come, and I didn't want it to be any induction unless it was a medical emergency
Mhm.
or he was really stressed in the womb. And that's another thing. When you're pregnant over 40, they do so many freaking tests. When it got to the last month, when you have to go to the doctor every week, I wasn't just going to the doctor for a checkup. They monitored the baby's heart rate. I had to get an ultrasound every single time. They just was making sure he was good in there. It was just so extensive
Mm-hmm.
going to the doctor at our age every week versus when I had my son at 33, they just checked me to see if I was dilated. Okay, you're in and you're out. This time I'm getting strapped up to monitors and they're doing stress tests for the baby, even though I'm healthy, but
Mm-hmm.
because of your age, they're checking all of that out.
Did the midwives have any issues with that?
No, no, they
Care.
don't. No, 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 no. Midwives are team natural too.
Okay.
I'm sure there might be some, but most midwives are all about natural births and like natural labors. They're just very mother nature, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the doctors who are the ones who are let's induce you, let's hook this IV up. No, I don't want any of that. No, I'm not wearing this gown. No, 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 no. So okay, so we talking about labor because this is fun.
Let's do
This is
it.
fun. Okay. Now again, everybody, I had my son, went in labor at 4:45 in the morning. My oldest, he came out at 9:45. 2, 3 little pushes in the water. This dude was out. I only had 2 little stitches. It was no big deal. As soon as he came out, I didn't feel nothing. Life was great, right? Now here, and he was only, I must preface this by saying he was only like, I don't know, 6'5", maybe, right?
Mm.
I also lost my mucus plug. I went to go pee and it fell out on my foot.
How far along were you?
It was one of those any day nows, right? So I had my
Okay.
mucus plug. The mucus plug fell out on my foot, and I had went into labor probably 3 days later. And it just looks like a kind of gross, but it just looks like a wad of snot, like a wad of snot. It just fell out on my foot, and I'm like, oh my god, my mucus plug, right? Whatever. So I'm looking for the whole reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm looking for these same kind of signs with this baby. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting on the mucus plug to come out. None of this happened. My first contraction was super intense. And it was like, and they start coming every 10 minutes. They were quick. I remember calling a hospital and the lady's like, is this your first baby? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, try to relax. You're probably going to be home for a couple of hours. It's going to be a while. And I'm like, I don't know, ma'am. They're already coming fast. Like they're already every 10 minutes. She was like, it's probably going to be 10 minutes for like 5 hours. Okay. I hung up. They start coming every 8. I told my friend Nora I was telling you about,
Mm-hmm.
no, let's go to the hospital because my mom had already left to go to work. So she's thinking I'm also was going to be hours before I had this baby. I told my friend, oh, no, 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 let's go to the hospital because went from 10 to 8 to 5. When I got to the hospital, they broke my water. Madden came out 45 minutes later. So the night before I went into labor, all of a sudden I'm spotting. And I never did this with my first. I'm like, is this normal? I'm on the Google search engine and they're like, yeah, everything's normal. And this was like Sunday. I wasn't calling anybody. I wasn't in pain, but it was just spotting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sure enough, like clockwork, about 4:50 a.m., I have a contraction. And I'm like, okay, so today's the day. Have it at 4:45. Next one doesn't come till 30 minutes later. The next one doesn't come till 30 minutes later. It was probably like 7 a.m. And now they're like every 20 minutes, right? But they're light. I mean, I'm talking and laughing through it. They only last 30 seconds. I just gotta when I'm having a contraction, I'm just okay, what's up? Back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nothing. It wasn't nearly as intense as it was with my son. So my mom takes us to the hospital, and then when I get to the hospital, they check me in, and there's something which I didn't know. It's funny because it's like I didn't remember any of this stuff with my first son. But there's like 2 stages of labor. Like first you're just in labor, and then things change when you're in active labor.
Mm-hmm.
So an active labor is when your contractions are wicked intense.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. So I was just in labor, but I wasn't yet in active labor. So I get to the hospital, maybe now they're every 8 minutes, but again, they're easy contractions,
Mm-hmm.
not wood. And then they break my water because my water never broke with either one of the kids before I got to the hospital. So they broke my water at the hospital. Now I'm in active labor. Now these freaking contractions are kicking my butt. Now, and it's so funny. I told the nurses, I said, and whoever's in the room, the nurses, the midwives, whoever. I said, I'm apologizing in advance because I'm going to be extremely mean to everybody. So I'm not really like this. Just going to let you guys know. They laughed. Don't worry about it, Erica. We're not going to take it personal. Okay, great. Everything is annoying me now that I'm in active labor. Everything. People, can you stop coming in the room? You're talking too loud. Can you turn the lights on? But everybody is great, right? Everybody is great. And these contractions are kicking my butt, you guys. Erica, do you want to get in the water? Remember, this water birth, this bathtub thing was my whole MO. This is my whole freaking birth plan, right?
Uh-huh.
Erica, do you want to get in the water? Yeah, I
No.
guess. They start running the water. The sound of the water was pissing me off. Can you guys turn that off? Well, they're like, you probably only have enough water in here to cover your ankles. I was like, but I just don't want to hear it. Well, how about you get in the water and we run it and maybe it'll make you feel better. I said, okay, fine. The contractions now are coming every minute right now, right? I get in the water, they turn the water on. Stop. I want to get out. Are you sure? Like your whole birth plan is like, I mean, I was like a water birth nut. I wrote it like I wanted everybody to know I was having a water, or I was gonna at least, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna go
Mhm.
until I had to push. Like you guys are gonna have to make me get out of here, you know.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I don't want to be in this bathtub. They're like, you don't. I said, I don't want to be wet. I don't know. I don't want to be wet. Get me out of here. So I got out of the bathtub and I sat on the edge of the bed. And they put this birthing bar on top of the bed. So they're like, if you wanted to hold on to the bar, you can hold on to it. Now, this was new. I didn't even know this was a thing or that they had it, but there is something called a birthing bar that they can put on your bed.
Mhm.
So they put this birthing bar on the bed. And they also give you a comb to hold in your hand to
Mhm.
squeeze it, you know, like to help the contractions.
Uh-huh.
And my poor hand had comb marks to the death of it. And I remember I kept staring at the clock, like, how long is this going to be? Because my son, Madden, was out in 5 hours. I'm tired of this. I'm having contractions every minute. It's been an hour and a half. Like, dude, am I dilated yet? I was like, when can I push? And my midwife was like, well, you're going to tell me when you're going to push. What are you talking about? I was like, I didn't, nobody, I said, they told me when to push with my first son. She checked me. I was 10 centimeters. They were like, okay, push. She was like, no, your body's going to let you know when you're supposed to push. I don't know what you're talking about, lady. You're crazy. This isn't what happened. This isn't what happened with my other son. Girl, out of nowhere, I was sitting on the edge of this bed. Out of nowhere, my body was like, get up. I stood up and I grabbed on to that bar and I just bared down and was like, ah. And sure enough, here comes this big headed baby. And I was screaming. Well, it wasn't, but it was the bearing down, the ah. My midwife squatted. She's underneath me like this. She's like, he's coming. And I just like did that, like, you know, like 3 good times. And then my son was out. He had a big head. I had to get 6 freaking stitches.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, he tore me up inside. Now, here's the thing, which is funny. I know I'm all over the place, but this is how my mind is working as I'm remembering these two births. So sometimes when you are having a vaginal delivery, when the baby comes out, they kind of have a cone head because it has to smash, you know, to get them through the birth canal. Honey, Easton's big round head, Madden had the cone. This baby didn't. His head is still round today, as it was the very first day I pushed him out. I'm like, no
Wow.
wonder I had to get 6 freaking stitches. His head did not smooth, it didn't cone. It was just a round little tomato. So I call him my tomato. A
Oh.
round little tomato head. Oh my God. I had him standing up, you guys. If any first time moms walk past my room, I feel bad for them because I'm in there hollering. They're like, I gotta poop. They're like, it's baby coming. And then he came out. Yep, I did it with no medicine. Oh, Here's a fun fact. So initially when I got to the hospital, right, you guys, the hospital, the doctors and everybody, they try to give you an IV. They just want to put it in your hand and they say, well, this is just in case you got to have a C-section or whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
I refused that. I didn't want to have anything in my hands. I just didn't want to. I was like, well, if it's going to be an emergency, then you'll just put it in my hand. Then I don't see the reason in me. I just didn't see the reason. And their reason wasn't good enough for me. Like, I don't want this IV. I don't want y'all touching me, right?
Mhm.
So at, I don't know, between that, like after that hour of me having freaking contractions and labor pains, I told my midwife, I don't have anything to prove to you guys. I already did this natural the first time. I want the anesthesiologist. Give me the epidural. Give me the epidural. She's like, Erica, your baby's probably you're at the end. He's probably gonna come out before the anesthesiologist gets in here. I don't care what you say. Can somebody please go get it? Go get the doctor. I want the anesthesia. I want the epidural. I want it now. I want it now. She's like, okay, but you're birthing. I don't care what my birthing plan says. I want the anesthesiologist. And it's so funny because she's like, all right. So they have put the call in. And before the anesthesiologist comes, you have to get that IV. And so the IV nurse comes in there. And remember, I'm having contractions every minute. And so she goes to put the IV in my hand. I'm like, wait, because I got to deal with this. I got to deal with this. And then it's over. And then she like, it's so funny. It took her probably 20 minutes just to put the IV in my hand because I stopped her. I kept stopping her. I was having contractions every minute with a 30-second break in between. I was going nuts. So she couldn't touch me when I was in active, when I'm having a contraction, but she could touch me when I had a quick breather. And then once you get the IV in, it has to go in your body for 20 minutes before you can have the epidural. So by the time she put the IV in and the epidural, I remember her radioing them. She said, okay, the IV's in. We're going to start the clock now. And, the guys on the other hand, like, okay, we'll be there in 20 minutes. I pushed that baby out. As soon as I pushed the baby out, they come to the door with the machine and my midwife was like, too late. The baby's already here. So that was a funny story because I did at some point initially want, so I thought, that epidural, but I had two natural births and they were definitely both different.
Yeah.
But
Do you wish you got that IV in?
no,
Okay.
no, I'm actually okay because initially that's what I wanted was to just do this natural, no meds.
Mhm.
But you guys, listen, man. Nope, we don't have anything to prove to nobody. The pain hurts. This ish hurts. It hurts. It is not a walk in the park. It is not for the faint-hearted. Having a baby is no joke. If Madden's birth would have been like Easton's first, would never have had another child. I assumed because Madden was so, and I use easy loosely because
Sure.
it still hurts people. I'm just using it loosely. But because they were night and day, so to say, in terms of the intensity and the pain,
Mhm.
Easton was a whole pound heavier, which has something to do with it, than Madden was. Oh my God. Oh my God. If anybody's wondering, well, how come she didn't get the epidural just right off the bat? I was more afraid of the needle. I asked to see the needle with Madden, and it's really big. I'm not even a shot person, but this is a really big, thick needle,
Mhm.
and it just scared me because they have to give it to you in your spine, and you better not move. They just don't move. Of course, they got to give you the risk, your wrist being paralyzed, and I just was so worried because I'm like, how am I supposed to be still when I'm having a freaking active contraction and you're sticking a needle in my back? Like, am I gonna feel the needle? I'm supposed to not jump, I can't move, or what if you move? Like, I don't know. Me being like I'm an overthinker. I just didn't want to do it. I was like, I'm just gonna deal with it and just go natural.
Yeah.
And I was such a rock star with Madden. I'm like, oh, I got this in the bag. Because I was quiet with Madden. I didn't yell. It wasn't any screaming. It was just silent pushing.
Uh-huh.
It was just great, So, girl, this new baby, honey. I don't know if it's age. I don't know. I don't know what the heck. I don't know. But I felt it. I felt it. And I just did it. If I was to ever have another one, there is a high probability that I would get an epidural. So bad. That's so bad. Experience it anymore. So it hurts so bad. It hurts so
Yeah.
bad.
Now, going back to your labor and you birthed him standing up, the midwife caught him.
Yeah.
Then what happened? Like, what was important to you afterwards?
So that's a great question. You're so good at this. Okay. I Anybody, don't let them cut your cord right away. It's so important for your baby to have all that umbilical blood back into the baby's body. It's so, like, that blood right there that's stuck in that cord is vital to the baby's health. There's so many like amazing things in there that the baby needs. So I told them, and it's also my birthing plan, to not cut the cord until it's done coagulating. And that means the cord is going to turn completely white. It'll
Mhm.
be completely white, and you'll actually see the blood twist down like a funnel until it's not there anymore. And that goes into the baby. And then I let them cut the cord. So after she caught the baby, I sat down on the end of the bed, and then we just waited. We waited until it takes like 3 to 5 minutes. We
Mhm.
just waited. They gave me the baby. So he's on my chest, and they're just waiting for the cord to get done coagulating. And then we cut the cord, and then you're just sitting there for a second until you like have another contraction, and then you push out the afterbirth, which is actually really cool because if you guys ask to see the placenta, it actually has the tree of life on it, which
Mhm.
is so beautiful. It literally looks like the tree of life on the placenta. It's just awesome, man. The human body is amazing.
Yeah. Did you do anything with the placenta?
So I made a tincture with this placenta, which helps, it'll help with teething. And if I ever need any energy, like it helps give you energy. I thought about doing it, making it into capsules.
Mhm.
My friend Shanae, who I was talking about earlier, she actually put hers into capsules, but I just kind of went against it. No real reason. I was talking to one of the midwives and she just was like, it's really only used for X, Y, and Z. So I don't know. I just saved myself $400 and just didn't do it. But I did. I had a midwife make it into a tincture. They can make it into like a solution, like a
Mhm.
liquid dropper or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not bloody.
Yeah.
I did do that. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. What else? How was your recovery?
Great. I think that's the blessing in disguise when you go natural is that your recovery is awesome. There's no back pain. When you get an epidural, you can't walk or do anything until it wears off.
Mhm.
The instantly, as soon as you push the baby out when you go natural, I mean, I'm talking instantly, the pain is gone. I mean, nothing. You don't feel a residual, nothing. The only thing that bothered me was, of course, having to get stitched up,
Uh-huh.
but it's like mind games with the brain, literally. Like you're in so much pain, and then as soon as you pop that baby out, the pain is immediately gone.
Mhm.
So my recovery was great. I didn't have to do anything. The stitches dissolved, and you change your pad, and they give you this cooling like pads that are like cold, like ice packs down there, which are awesome. You get a little squirt bottle to squirt yourself off down there. You put warm water in there. That's heaven on earth. Who knew? And that's it. I mean, recovery is fun. I'm great. I'm even back to my pre-pregnancy weight. So
Oh my gosh. After 4
yeah,
months.
no, not even. He's only 7 weeks. Well, he will be on Tuesday.
Oh
So
my
we're
gosh.
yeah, a
That's
little over six
incredible.
weeks. Yeah, a little over 6 weeks. Mhm.
Wow.
I'm not working out. I'm not doing any of that. I breastfeed, so it just kind of came off, you know.
Yeah. How was your breastfeeding journey?
Oh God, you poor
Latching.
people. Easy. Both my sons latched
Oh my
easy.
gosh.
But I will tell you, but breastfeeding is not easy. With Madden, I quit every day. Now, I breastfed him up until he was 13 months, but I'm not kidding when I tell you I quit every day. Every day, I quit every day. Like, I'm not doing this tomorrow. But I would wake up tomorrow and I would breastfeed and I would get through it. But then the next, I'm not doing, I literally quit every day. But my every day ended up being a 13-month thing, so it was great. Now, poor baby Easton, well, being 42 and my boobs hurt and I'm tired of this, I actually do both. So he gets breast and he gets bottle. I give him both formula and I also breastfeed.
Mhm.
I haven't pumped yet because pumping for me is the devil. I hate it. It hurts. My friend Shanae, whose son is 2 days younger than mine, she hates breastfeeding, but she loves pumping. So she's like a rock star when it comes to pumping and storing all her milk. But I hate pumping, so I give him the boob. But I do both, so no guilt trips to any mom who has to do both or who does formula feeding or who who can't breastfeed for a long time. Don't beat yourself up about it. I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's the best thing for our babies, yes, but it's not easy.
Mhm.
It's not easy. And I literally still to this day, I just take it a day at a time.
Yeah.
And if at 2 o'clock my boobs are hurting too bad to where I don't want him to suck, then I'll just put a little formula in a bottle. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not gonna kill myself over this, you know. And I hate to see so much bashing from exclusively breastfed moms when other moms have to formula feed or vice versa. I
Mhm.
think everybody should respect whatever everybody is doing because the breastfeeding journey, again, my phrase is not for the faint hearted. I don't care how good your baby is latching, you're still going to get sore boobs. Your boobs are going to get engorged. They're going to hurt. You're breastfeeding around the clock. You have to find the right cream for your nipples because even though Lancelin will work for you, it's not going to work for me. I mean, it's so much. It really
Yeah.
is. But I'm still doing it.
That's good. Now, since it's only been 7 weeks, do you feel like you have it down for the second time?
Breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like I think for me, in my opinion, you just kind of are into mom machine mode, right?
Mhm.
So you just do it because
Yeah.
you just have to. And my baby will tell me when he's ready to eat and when he wants the boob. Like there's times when I'm giving him a bottle and he don't want it and he won't take it.
Mhm.
So he'll want the boob and I suck it up and I give it to him, you know. But it's don't overthink it. I think a lot of times us women, if we really just zone in and focus on what our body is telling us, forget what everybody is saying. I don't forget the doctors, no offense. Forget I just do what your body is telling you to do
Yeah.
and go with that. Your body is not going to overfeed your baby. Your body is not going to hurt your baby. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You just do it. So I'm just kind of like in mom machine mode, right? I just do it. I don't even think about it. I just do it. I
Yeah.
just do it.
Now, how do you plan to wean? Is it will you just listen to your baby
Yeah.
or
No, well, both. So
okay.
with Madden, the reason why I stopped, I mean, I wasn't gonna, me personally, like I didn't want to breastfeed him until he was a year and a half to 2 years. It wasn't a preference of mine. But my milk dried up on its own.
Mm,
So when I had the last milk in my boob, that was just it for him, for Madden. And so with Easton, I'm gonna just do the same way. I'm just gonna allow my body to wean him off of it himself.
mhm,
So just whenever it dries up, then that's the end of the story. Now, let's say he's a year old and I'm still producing all of this milk, then ask me that then, right? But as of right now, I'm just kind of gonna just let the body go where it goes. I mean, I've looked on the internet in terms of just out of curiosity, looked at things that'll dry your milk up. If I get to that stage, and I know what I'll need to do, but nah, right now I just kind of it'll just do what it does. I
yeah.
think with Madden though, the one thing that I appreciate about allowing my body to dry the milk up gradually and on its own is I still had elasticity in my breast when I was done. So I didn't suffer saggy boob syndrome or like a lot of times there's a lot of women who have like a lot of skin here. I still had very nice full breast when I was done breastfeeding Madden because it wasn't anything that happened fast.
Mm,
So my milk dried up gradually and slowly, and I think that's still what kept my boobs with their elasticity in it. It's kind of like if you lose a lot of weight too fast, how you can have a lot of excess skin. But if you lose it slower, your skin has a chance to keep its elasticity. The collagen has a chance to keep you, nice and kind of firm or whatever. So that's what I plan to do this
yeah.
round.
I've never thought about it like that, but that
Mhm.
it totally makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
And what about mentally? How has postpartum been for you?
For me, I'm good. I'm good. This is it's really been a blessing. I allow myself to feel whatever it is that I need to feel. And honestly, I think that's the key. I think the key is if I'm feeling stressed, to just be stressed for a second. If I'm sad, I'm gonna just be sad for a second. If I'm happy or whatever, I'm just gonna allow myself to just be whatever it is I need to be. If I have a random day of crying, I have a random day of crying and understanding that my emotions are trying to regulate, understanding that I'm a mom again, I'm a mom at 42, understanding again that this too shall pass. And for me, that's what has held me down. That's what has kept me sane, is just understanding that this too shall pass. And because I don't really think I'm going to have any more children, I am really intentional with everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm experiencing. So I don't over stress about it because this will be the last time probably that there's a baby sucking on my breast. This will be the last time probably that I'm going to have a newborn. This will be the last time that I'm pregnant, or you know what I'm saying? So I keep these things in my mind because I don't want to miss the moment again.
Yeah.
I want to be able to say that I truly been in this, all of it, the blood, the sweat, and the tears from the beginning to the end.
What has been your biggest challenge being pregnant in your 40s?
The biggest challenge being pregnant in my 40s is that I'm pregnant in my 40s. What does that mean? Well, I can tell you now that working out at 40 is different than working out at 30. So it's just age. Even though I feel good, I mean, it's still age, man. Unfortunately, the older we get, the less things work. And my best advice is just to enjoy their journey. And that also means the hard parts and the tough parts and the sad parts and the anxious parts, especially if those days when I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling blue or overwhelmed, because I honestly wanted to be married and having a baby. I never wanted to have my children out of wedlock. And that's just a personal preference. But now I have it right now. I'm dealing with that. So sometimes that bothers me. Sometimes I'll have a moment where I'm like, brats. Here I am, a single mom with two boys. And I didn't grow up. I grew up in a two-parent household. My grandparents were married. So sometimes for me, that's just to be transparent, that's just something that I have struggled with. But when I have these moments of life not happening the way that I wanted it to, I get to go back in my journal and I get to read the things that make me happy to have a mom. My son smiled at me. He giggled at me. My oldest son kissed his brother for the first time. Here's a favorite memory of mine, and then I'll digress. When I had my son, Easton, at the hospital, and then Madden had to come see him and visit for the first time, I'll never, ever, ever forget to the day that I died. My 10-year-old got emotional. Mom, I'm getting a little emotional because he held his baby brother for the first time.
Oh,
And when I have these moments and these memories and things like that, it makes all that other stuff fall to the wayside. So the journal for me is kind of like mind control. Because when I start getting the negativity, I get to go to my positive book, which never changes. And I can open it up and I can read a page, and everything that I read makes me smile. Everything that I read lifts my spirits up instantly. Everything that I read is way more important than, well, you didn't get married. It was much more important to see when my baby first smiled. It's much more important to read that my son cried because he's a big brother than it is for me to be down in my luck because I'm not married. So that's just a tool that I use now to just help me keep me through and to, like I've said a gazillion times on this podcast, to enjoy their journey.
mhm. That's perfect. Is there anything you recommend that would help prepare someone for pregnancy and birth over 40?
I don't want people to don't start feeling a certain kind of way because you're 40 and you're pregnant. It's a new age, it's a new day and time. Technology is awesome right now. There's a lot of cool inventions and stuff that help us along the way. Just be pregnant. Be pregnant as if you were in your 20s. Like, Don't worry about all this crap. Like my doctor told me, man, you're just as what he said, I don't remember, but you're stronger than some of the 20-year-olds, or you're healthier than some of the 20-year-olds. Like, so it doesn't mean anything. It's just our body is a little bit older, but your mind is so much better. And the brain, the muscle here, the mind is so, so, so important during your pregnancy. So if I have any advice, is to make sure that you are staying positive, listening to uplifting music, whatever is making you happy, making you sing, making you dance. If you want to color, like whatever the freak it is that gets you in your Zen space, in your peace space, stay there. That would probably be my only advice in terms of being pregnant over 40. All that other crap, man, don't worry about that crap. That's just stuff to scare you. I'm my best. This is my absolute best at 42 than it was at 33.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would do it again in my early 40s than I would in my 30s. Even though I was great and everything was great in my 30s, but just where I was at here is just in such a better space than when I was a younger mom.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yep.
What advice would you give yourself when you were pregnant if you could go back?
Or I just did it. Just keep a journal. I
Mm.
call it the positivity book. Journal before, journal after. And again, everything positive. Stay away from anything negative, negative people, negative things. If your doctor, your OB, or if your midwife to you is coming off negatively or says something a little negative, even if they don't mean it, switch, get another
Mhm.
one. Because we're in such a fragile state because our emotions are crazy and we're growing this tiny human inside of us. We have to protect this.
Where can our listeners find you on the internet?
You can find me in two wonderful places. I am on Instagram under I am Nicole, ENICHOLE, and I also have a website, enicole.com, ENICHOLE. See?
Awesome, Erica. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely, Jamie. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Awesome podcast. God bless you in your future. I don't believe in luck, so God bless on your baby and your journey.